A reading from the wisdom of Mandy Hale. Just be yourself. Let people see the real, imperfect, flawed, quirky, weird, beautiful, magical person that you are. Here ends the reading.
A reading from the wisdom of singer-songwriter Anson Seabra from the song Trying My Best. I know you think I got it all figured out, 'cause I walk around like my head's in the clouds, but I'm just a boy with his heart pouring out of his head. I wish that you could see the pain that I've seen and all of the times I've spent not being me. I hope that you know it's not always been happy in my head. Here ends the reading.
A reading from the Wisdom and Diary of Libby Flathers, February 4th, 2021. No one is ever going to know you better than you are, but you have to at least try to know yourself first. And if you can't do that, then no one will ever get to see how truly amazing the real you is. And that's just a waste of a great life. Here end the readings.
Hey, my name's Libby, and if you don't already know who I am, you probably haven't been paying close enough attention during all school Zoom meetings. I'm that crazy sixth form girl who always has her camera on and laughs and reacts to everything. And it's not at all awkward because at this point, everyone's accepted it that I'm just going to be me, and they might as well embrace it. Now, before I begin on what my talk's actually about, I want to give you guys a little tour of the chapel. Because I realize that many of you have never even stepped foot in here, and it's one of my favorite places on campus where I've learned about myself. So let's go. Step 1. Where I sat my third form year. It is here where I experienced St. Mark's for the first time, and I learned what chapel is. Hearing talks from students I barely knew, letting all the wisdom go in one ear and out the other. Step 2. Where I sat fourth form year. It's here where I tried to see the speaker through the pillars, and it's where I learned about the small idiosyncrasies and strange minds of the people that my sister called classmates, whom I barely knew at all. Step 3. It's here where I sat in the fall and winter of my fifth form year, where I stared at the backs of speakers as they talked, and it's here where I learned to cry and empathize with my friends and peers, while also going through my own heartache. Step 4. These are the seats specifically reserved for sixth formers. It is here where I would have heard about all the crazy little things I'd never noticed about the people that I'd spent 4 years going to school with. Step 5. It's here where I would have sat as I waited anxiously as my readers went up to the podium one by one. And finally, step 6. It is here where I would have given my long-awaited chapel talk, standing in front of all of you. But instead, I'm giving it from here, in my room on Zoom, where I'm literally wearing pajama bottoms and none of you can tell. I probably wrote a million different drafts of what to say today, each time scrapping everything and starting over as my life changed. And I've now realized that everyone writes theirs in the week leading up to giving it because there is no way any of us could say everything we wanted to in one chapel talk. And as each day goes by, we change our minds on what to say. Someone once asked me if when I look back on this talk in 5 to 10 years, am I going to be proud of myself for what I said? And that really stuck with me. So here I am trying to make my future self proud with my one topic. But what topic? There were so many happy topics I wanted to choose from, like my love for my family, my friends, puzzles, and chocolate ice cream with rainbow sprinkles. Or my creative projects, like masks, digital drawing, and journaling. But I realized that these are topics I will happily share with you any chance I get. All you have to do is ask. So I thought that today I was going to take this opportunity to discuss some of the things you might not be able to get out of me just by asking. In early January, I took about 10 of those chapel talk drafts I talked about and comprised them into one long talk that I thought encompassed everything. It had everything from One Direction to talks of loneliness. And even after I edited it, it remained around 3,500 words. Way too long for a chapel talk. But I did, however, share it with some of my friends, and they all ended up saying the same thing. Maybe it's too personal. Now, this may have been a little true, but I was so proud of myself for writing and sharing that talk that I was really disappointed when they weren't as excited about it as I was. But as I sat and thought of their response to a chapel talk that I thought was absolutely amazing, I thought about why it would be too personal. And I realized that the talk itself wasn't too personal. It was just too personal for Libby Flathers. The people that I was close to thought that if my chapel talk stayed happy rather than deep and potentially sad, I would feel better about it at the end. But if a chapel talk isn't the place to express myself completely, then where is? This is something that I've been contemplating for a while. Where am I allowed to be and give less than my 100%? Because when I don't feel up to having high energy or I'm simply tired, everyone assumes something is up or wrong, even if I'm just trying to act normal for once. Don't get me wrong, I love myself, and I love how when people see me in the halls, they smile and wave because they just know I will return their energy. But it's a double-edged sword, because it's caused people to not take me seriously, because no one mature would be that happy. It's caused me to have to scream at the top of my lungs for someone to comprehend that I'm actually upset, because I'm Libby and nothing upsets me. It's caused people to not believe me when I say I'm sad, because that's just not who I am. Sometimes, not even crying will convince them. Now, I want to emphasize that I'm not saying I'm not happy. The majority of the time, my happiness and good mood are completely genuine. I love making people happy and helping them in whatever ways I can. I love putting a smile on people's faces, and sometimes I can do that without even trying. I am simply trying to say that sometimes I'm not happy, and that's okay. I don't want to have gone through my entire high school and St. Mark's experience never having expressed my truth, no matter how hard it is for me. So I guess that's what I'm doing right now. And although it might be a little late, given that I only have 44 days left, late is better than never. I struggle with loneliness. I absolutely despise being alone. I mean, from time to time it's okay, but if you see me alone, just know I would probably rather not be. I'd rather be hanging out with someone, because when you're alone, it's usually a time to self-reflect, and that is one of my biggest weaknesses. I'm working really hard at becoming better at being okay with being by myself, but it takes a lot of work, and I'm just not there yet. I hate being alone because that means I only have myself for company, and I don't know who I am. And I'm sure you're all thinking to yourselves right now, oh, but Libby, I know who you are. You are, and you proceed to follow that statement with some positive adjectives. But is that who I really am, deep down? I don't know. This may come as a surprise to some of you, but I'm not confident. At all. I second guess every single step I make. I'm self-conscious of every aspect of myself, and I'm terrified that something I do is going to make people laugh at me, or is going to hurt someone else in any way. I would rather hurt myself 10 times over than to have caused pain on anyone else. Sure, I wear crazy outfits and I go overboard with spirit. I keep my camera on and I laugh at absolutely everything loudly and rather obnoxiously. That's just who I am. But that's not confidence. That's enthusiasm and high spirits. And I think that it's important to note the difference. Enthusiasm and high spirits means that outwardly I'm going to come across as happy and supportive, and it will seem like I have confidence. Whereas true confidence comes from within and is all about the inside and how you feel about yourself. So many people come up to me and tell me that they wish they had my confidence, that seeing me just being me brightens their day. And although that makes me smile because I'm glad that I can make their day just a bit better, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, is this really me? Am I being myself? Or am I just keeping up with the image that I've created for myself over the course of these 4 years? A couple of weeks ago, I asked my Instagram followers to describe me in a word or phrase, and here's what you guys said. All of them happy, all of them positive, but generally, they're mostly the same. I think my favorite one was just Libby. No other ways to put it. Would I use most of these words to describe myself? Maybe, but probably not. And after hearing this talk, would you choose different words? Also, probably not. Why? Because a chapel talk doesn't change a person or make them who they are. Most people won't even remember what I said past tomorrow. And that's okay, because it doesn't really matter. This wasn't for them. This was for me. To know that I shared who I truly am, and that's all I can do. But for the couple of you that are listening and will remember, I want you to ask yourself, am I being my true self, or am I simply being the me everyone wants to see? The me that I've been pretending to be for so long, it has become who I am. Sixth formers, we have 44 days left. That's not very much. For perspective, 44 days ago, I was combing through my closet, picking out every last piece of red I own for the first day of quad games. So I urge you, for the rest of your time at St. Mark's and all the time beyond that, to be the you that you want to be, and not the you that you think you should be, or the one that you pretend to be. Because you are one amazing person, and in all honesty, the only person you have to convince of that is yourself. Thank you.